Hello everyone, this is Emily speaking from Couch English, channel dedicated to practical business English. Although if you follow our channel, you probably are aware that apart from sharing different kind of the content in the area of business English, I do my best also to explain a little bit more different kind of the practical business processes. And in fact, everything what I mention, everything what I share with you is based on my practical expertise, especially the one related to human resources area, because that's the main discipline in which I work. And in fact, today we're going to also concentrate on the topic entailing HR. We're going to talk a little bit more about talent marketplace. And let's start with a little bit of the background. If we think about talent management, if we consider talent development, probably we can still have in our minds some kind of traditional career paths, traditional career development connected with entering the company, being able to be promoted to the higher position. So probably if we think about career paths, we can also consider career paths as something connected strictly with vertical development. So going up and climbing up the career ladder. And that's, of course, a traditional approach, which is still quite typical if we think about the hierarchical structure. Although lately, as we can observe the market, and in fact the market changes, we can probably be also aware that this traditional approach to career management, to talent development, is not anymore so sufficient. And it's not anymore attractive for anybody, I would say, for both employers, but also for the employees. And that's why what we can observe lately is the idea of talent marketplace. So let's think a little bit more what is behind that idea. I can probably assume that you all understand and you all know different kind of the marketplaces where you can buy certain types of the products and services. For example, of course, Amazon. And probably if you think about that, you know that that's the place where buyers and sellers, they can meet. And of course, they can exchange. One person or one company is buying, another person or company is selling. So I would say, and I would compare talent marketplace a little bit to Amazon or any other platform, although it's a bit different. First of all, that's about the commodity. Because if you want to buy any kind of the product, for example, following Amazon, for sure you will buy their different kind of the services, different kind of the products, your households, and so on. But if it is about the talent marketplace, there are two main commodities. Let me call them commodities, although probably I even shouldn't. Because one commodity, that's the employee with their skills and competences. And the second commodity are different kind of the projects, different kind of the tasks and the gigs offered by the company. So in fact, talent marketplace can be understood as the platform, internal platform of the company, where we can find all the employees of the organization together with their skills. And on the other hand, we can also find their different kind of the career opportunities, different kind of the projects enabling development of the skills. So we have those two commodities. On one hand, we're going to have the employees again with their skills. On the other hand, different kind of the possibilities, how they can expand their skills via variety of the projects, gigs, and tasks. So the difference which I would mention here is that in fact, both of those sides, so let's say employees and also employers, so let's say managers, project managers, they're in fact having twofold function. So on one hand, for example, if I'm the employee, I will be the buyer because I can buy some projects, I can buy some gigs in which I want to participate. Of course, by buying, I don't want to say that I'm paying for that because it is just checking and selecting the opportunity, but let me call it buying because that's about marketplace. So on one hand, I can buy the opportunity to participate in some project, task, or gig. And on the other hand, I'm also the seller because I'm selling myself. I'm selling my skills. I'm selling my knowledge for the purpose of execution of certain task or project. And on the other hand, we're also going to have the managers, so let's say the company, the employer. And what they will do is that they will place on that marketplace different kind of the opportunities. So let's assume that there will be the situation that one of the managers, he's looking for the person who can assist that manager in negotiating the contract with some vendor. And most probably, of course, that manager can have a proper person in their team, can of course manage that kind of the task, but we can probably assume that there is not enough of the capacity in that team, so nobody can negotiate that contract. On the other hand, it can simply happen that there will be no skills for that, or there will be some sudden need because maybe somebody is on the sick leave and we suddenly just need somebody who is going to cover that particular task, that particular project. And what will happen then is that in that particular situation, that manager is going to place that information about the opportunity, and anybody, like any employee who wants, they will be able to apply and of course participate in that project. Due to the fact that talent marketplace, so this talent pool and the gig pool and project pool is available for everybody in the company, because we simply assume that all the employees, all the managers, everybody in the company has access to that. What is important is that that particular platform, it really has to be very transparent and really very easy to navigate. Otherwise, of course, nobody would even understand how to apply it. We can probably compare it to some extent to different kind of the competency models. And if we think about traditional competency models, they are usually quite complicated and complex, because in most of the companies 2 years ago, we had, for example, some Excel files. In the Excel file, there was information about certain competence, the description of this competence, the levels of mastery, and description of levels of mastery. So understanding one competence meant like really a lot of reading, and then of course understanding as well. And if we think about talent marketplace, it can't work like that, because nobody will enter the platform reading a lot of information, a lot of skills, because simply it's impossible, it's difficult, and it's time consuming. That's why if we think about that combination, that on one hand, we're going to have the information about employees and their competences, on the other hand, there will be also those gigs. Everything has to be written in a very simple and easy, and I would say user-friendly language. So even those competences, they will be, of course, listed, and everybody in the company has to understand the meaning of those competences, but there won't be so sophisticated descriptions. There will be the information if I have the competence or not. Of course, there can still be the scale, but quite simple, like the percentage maybe, or the numbers, or even the colors, to make sure that anybody who's entering can easily understand who has what kind of the competences and what kind of competences are also required for the purpose of certain gig or project. So once the manager who is looking for, let's say, that some person who could support this manager in that contract negotiation, once the manager is going to place the, let's say, advertisement or the opportunity, then of course there will be also the information about the required skills. And all the employees who are entering the platform, they can see it, but that's not only that. Because what is really important is that employees, they will be also able, together with managers, of course, to see if there is the matching or not. And that's really important, because to some extent, that kind of the combination, that kind of the alignment is going to be automatic. So not only the manager is going to place the ads and of course describe what kind of the competences are required, but on the other hand, the system will look for all the employees who are meeting the criteria and then matching, which means that it is like really, really simple, and it can save a lot of time, because we don't have to look at the Excel files and so on and search for the proper candidates or search for the proper opportunities on our own. So that's really important, that that matching skills together with the, that matching skills, candidates, employees, together with the projects, it will be done automatically. And if I was talking also about that navigation, you can see here just some kind of the graphics connected with Workday. It is one of the very typical HR systems, and that's also what they do, that they also present the talent marketplace. So of course, we can create our own platform, we can use some ready solutions, but even probably if you have a look at that picture here, you can see that it's pretty easy to be navigated. Of course, we're not going to enter that, but you can just see at least that superficial level. So we can see different kind of the areas in which probably right now, different kind of the opportunities are being offered. And anybody who wants, they can just check those opportunities. And of course, if only they want, they can apply. But at the same time, again, the matching is going to happen. What is also quite typical, if we think about the talent marketplace, is that it is also some kind of the answer to employees' needs. And the necessity, or they wish, maybe I should rather say, to explore different kind of the areas. Because if we think about traditional talent development, probably we, again, as I was mentioning at the very beginning, can think about that hierarchy, about vertical development, or at least, for example, if we want to move to other departments, we have to receive a special kind of the assignment, and we're moving from one position to another. And what is typical for talent marketplace is that it will offer also short-term assignments, which is perfect because it means that I can still work in my department, I can still keep my position, but at the same time, I have, of course, dedicated time to participate in some project or task. So fantastic possibility for me to be able to explore, to experiment a little bit, and also, in fact, to discover my potential, because maybe I'm not even aware of some additional skills that I can apply in different kind of the projects. And talent marketplace and that experimentation is a perfect possibility for me to explore and discover my potential and the skills that I do not use on a daily basis. Apart from the fact that marketplace is to some extent, of course, the answer to the employees and their need for variety of developments, it's also the answer to the companies. Because if we think about the current market, it's definitely extremely rapid, extremely dynamic. So it might happen that if the company is looking for the candidate, the external one, it will be quite difficult to find that kind of the candidate, or it will be very time consuming. But if we think about this internal mobility, if we think about sourcing the candidates somewhere within the company, it is much easier to do it because we know we have in our company, and it's also not going to be so time consuming. So it is also the answer to the companies so that they could find the candidates, of course, employees, quite easy and quite quickly. And one more thing is related again to the market. So if we know that right now, that kind of dynamic market that I mentioned is imposing, in fact, on us the agility, the flexibility, that's also the possibility to fulfill the market needs, because it might happen that there will be some kind of the requirement coming from the market, but very fast one. And probably if we did it in traditional way, so we receive some kind of the demand from the market and we start the recruitment process again, half of the year, 1 year, and the opportunity is gone. And because of the talent marketplace, if there is some kind of new demand, new requirement coming from the market, then very quickly we can fulfill, we can satisfy that particular need. So a lot of opportunities. I could probably still compare talent marketplace to the talent pool of the external agencies, although there will be slight difference. Most of the agencies, recruitment agencies right now, they work in that way that they have, of course, the talent pool. So different kind of the candidates in one platform, in one place. But on the other hand, only the employees of the agency, they have access to that platform. So once the client wants to look for some certain candidate, it will be the agency who is checking who is in the pool. Client, so the company, and candidates, they don't have access to that particular talent pool. And in talent marketplace, again, it's different because everybody, all the company, all the employees, sorry, all the employees and the whole company have access to the talent marketplace. And finally, if we think about, or maybe pre-finally, if we think about the talent marketplace, on one hand, of course, that's some kind of the stock, sales, purchase. But on the other hand, there is one more possibility to be applied in the talent marketplace. Because it can happen that, for example, if I'm applying for that project connected with negotiations, I have the negotiation skills, but still not on the highest possible level of mastery. So what will happen if I follow the talent marketplace is that there will be the match, because the system will be able to recognize that I'm partially, for example, meeting the criteria, or I have the potential to participate in that project, but still I'm missing some certain skills or knowledge. So what will be also done is that I will receive the information in what kind of the workshop, in what kind of the trainings, in what kind of the mentoring programs I can participate to expand, to develop my competences. But apart from that, there might be also the information who in the organization has that certain knowledge and can be the source of that knowledge, so also can become my teacher, can become my mentor. And that's a great opportunity, because there will be also additional information, not only about the external possibilities of education, but also how I can expand my knowledge following people in my organization. That's why, if it is about the benefits of talent marketplace, I think I would start from the one connected with collaboration. One of the main effects coming and stemming from talent marketplace will be connected with definitely bolstered collaboration. We will have people who work on different kind of the projects, who work on different kind of the tasks. So probably normally in that traditional organization, they wouldn't even have the possibility to collaborate on a daily basis. And here everybody is mixing. And that's a perfect possibility, because that's how we can get to know different kind of people. We can initiate collaboration with them. And of course, automatically bonds among different kind of the people, they're going to be fostered. So that's one of the benefits, apart from these traditional one, like development possibilities, but I think I would concentrate really on that. And automatically, I would also move to breaking down the traditional hierarchy. And that's really something fantastic for me, that we're not anymore thinking about traditional development or traditional advancement, promotion, going up and climbing up the career ladder, but we are thinking about those multi-dimensional possibilities. So it is completely different to the traditional hierarchy in most of the functional structures. And I guess that the last thing that I would mention, or maybe just emphasize once again, is the fact that due to the talent marketplace, we're going to have quick skill, task, and project gap cover, which is fantastic, because automatically it means that not only employees in the company, they can develop, but also company can become more competitive, because the company, the organization is going to very quickly respond to the market needs. So that's about the talent marketplace. But of course, if you're interested in any different kind of the content, in something additional, I would like to invite you to follow our YouTube channel, because you will find there a lot of different kind of the podcasts, webinars related, of course, to HR, but apart from that, different kind of the business topics. Thank you very much for